Welcome to Web Development Through Practice. In the previous video, we discussed Artisan Console, broadcasting, and caching. Today, we will learn about collections and how they work. In simple words, a collection is a group of items considered as one unit. For example, products can be grouped into collections like electronics, home furniture, and beauty. Each group is a collection, and multiple groups can form a bigger collection. I will explain this with practical examples, so make sure to watch till the end. Ensure your XAMPP Apache server is running and that you have the Laravel project set up. To start, we need a controller, so open the command line in the project root and run php artisan make controller collection controller. This will create the collection controller in the app/http/controllers directory. Open the collection controller file. To create a collection, first include illuminate /support/collection at the top of the collection controller code. Then, define the function showProductCollection, where you will create a static array of products categorized into electronics, home and furniture, and beauty products. Use the collect helper to instantiate the collection class, passing in the product array and storing it in the $products variable. Group the products by category using the groupBy method and store the result in $groupProducts, which you will then display. After saving the collection controller file, navigate to the project root and open the web.php file in the routes directory. Define a route with the get method for the URL product collection that links to the showProductCollection function in the collection controller and includes the collection controller at the top of the code and save web.php file. Now, to run the application, open a command line prompt and execute the command php artisan serve to start the local server. Then, open a browser and navigate to the URL product collection. Here, you will see the output with the collection displayed. After creating collections, we will see how to extend them. Sometimes, the built-in collection methods like filter, map, or groupBy might not cover all your needs. In such cases, you can extend the collection class to add your own custom methods using the macro method. Let's take a simple example from the Laravel official documentation. This code adds a toUpper method to the collection class. First, go to your collection controller and define a function called extendCollection, where you will use the collection macro to add the toUpper method, which returns a string in uppercase. Next, create a collection of 2 strings and store it in the $collection variable. Then, call the toUpper function and store the new result in the $upper variable, which you will then print. To run this, you need to define a route in web.php. Set the URL as the extendCollection and save the file. Now, you can go to your browser and navigate to the URL extendCollection to see the strings converted to uppercase. Returning to the collection controller, you will notice that if we use a macro directly in the controller, we need to write the same code to use the same functionality in another function. Therefore, it is not recommended to use macros directly in controllers. The best practice is to declare collection macros in the boot method of a service provider so that they are called automatically and are reusable. To achieve this, you can create a new service provider named MacroServiceProvider. Open your command line prompt, exit from the serve command by pressing Ctrl+C, and then run the command php artisan make provider MacroServiceProvider. After that, navigate to the project root directory under app/providers, and you will find that a new service provider has been created. Open the MacroServiceProvider file and go to the collection controller. In the extendCollection function, copy the macro method code and paste it into the boot function of the MacroServiceProvider. Then, Copy the collection and string classes from the collection controller and include them in the macro service provider. Save both files. To check if it's working, go to command line prompt, start local server by running command php artisan serve, then refresh the URL in your browser. You should see it functioning properly. You can also add your own logic in the macro method. Then, visit the Laravel official website for a complete list of collection methods, which we will discuss one by one with examples. In the next video, we'll discuss powerful collection methods, so don't miss out. If you have questions, leave them in the comments and I'll help. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.